Hello Cancer, thank you for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. For supportive oracle cards, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Oops, which I can't hold that box. Slippery fingers. I just washed them, but they're dry. Maybe that's why. Alright, relationship first, single second. This reminds me of Pisces a little bit. Letting something go. I don't really want to put in these oracle cards, so I'm going to leave them out. Letting something go is a big thing here, because I feel with you, you're standing your ground. Your challenge card is the Ace of Swords, which is like, if you need to say something, that's one thing. The Ace of Swords as your challenge card is it's not what you're well, it's not the fact of the subject, it's how it's being talked about. So be careful about how you're talking about a subject. You need to say something, then you need to say something. You need to say something, you need to say something. It needs to happen, it needs to happen. But be very aware of how your words are affecting this other person, your partner. Because you can be effective, but it's kind of like the way you're effective. Like if you need to, if you want to get a baseball outside, you just want to throw it out on the yard. You can open the door or open a window and throw it out there, or you can just whip it through the window, or you can whip it through the door. You know what I mean? It's up to you. Do you want to break the window or break the window with the door? Do you want to? Are you going to throw it out in the field and actually hit somebody with it? You know what I mean? You can get the ball where it needs to go, but like, are you going to break something, or what are you going to do when you get it there? How are you going to get it there when it lands? Is it going to hurt somebody when it lands? Like, think about that. I think that's the thing. You need to get that ball outside. Then you need to do that. Opening the door first, opening the window first, and then making sure like you throw it out there and it's not going to hit anybody or hit anything. Like, you know, people have lawn ornaments. You're not going to break something when it lands. You know, stuff like that. Or worse yet, like I'm thinking also, like I have dogs. So you throw a ball out in the yard, they're going to go for it. Are you throwing something out there that's going to cause somebody else to attack it? Think of it that way too. But you need to say something. And that's good. There's nothing wrong with you having to say something. But they're saying also with the Six of Cups, this is something that I feel like you have a lot of history with. That's the history card usually. Something you need to say, something that may have been pent up for a while, or it's like gaining energy. So it might be getting some strength to it, and like you're sick of dealing with it, which might be a reason where you get this ball, you're sick of it, you whip it through the window because you're fed up and you don't really care about opening the window first. You're just like, you're angry, you need to get it out there, woof, you whip it through the window. You don't really care who it hits. Which is not a normal feeling for you, is what I'm probably getting. Is not really something you normally do, but when you're fed up and you're fuming and you've had it, and a moment strikes you where you're like, I'm going to stand my ground, and I said that ball's going outside. If it goes through the window, then so what? I don't care. I said that ball goes outside, and it's going out there. So boom, there it goes. Crash, bang, boom, it's out there. For the majority of you, you're very strong when you want to be. So it's just about having the outcome that you want after the fact. Like, after the dust is settled, like, are you going to have to fix that stupid window? You know what I mean? That's the point. Because in the long run, that's you don't want to have to fix a window. Even if somebody else is fixing it for you, you still have to deal with plastic over the window until it's fixed, and that's still an inconvenience. You don't have to deal with the inconvenience of that, so just keep that in mind. Now, this is your partner. All right, let's get these cards over here. This isn't the easiest picking these up, which is making me feel like there's a reason for that. Whatever you need to talk about, it's been going on for a while. I'm getting that again. And I'm also getting your partner not relating to it the same way you are. Whatever you need to say, you do need to say. And I'm getting this Nine of Pentacles with the Justice card on your partner's side. They don't see anything wrong. Like, I don't feel them, they're not relating to it the way you are. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with the way they're handling it currently, in the sense of like not seeing it the way you were seeing it. But the challenge card for them is the Nine of Pentacles, like feeling like, you know, just because they're happy, then everything should be fine. That's the catch-22 here. They're enjoying life. They don't see any problem. They're happy. They're not seeing it from your angle. You telling them how it's out of balance, that's justice. That's justice coming in on their side. That's creating justice on their side, saying, you know what? This is how you're doing it, and I know that's good for you, but I don't like it. This is why I don't like it. Sure, you get to come home and relax and have a good time. Meanwhile, I have to stop and do these 7 different things. By the time I get home, you make dinner. That's true. Thank you for making dinner. But I had to do all this work. It takes me an hour and a half to get through all this stuff. Quite frankly, I'd rather make dinner. And like pointing it out to your partner, like, yeah, you do your effort. You do what's agreed. But I feel like I'm running like a crazy person. I get very frustrated and very upset. Dealing with traffic, dealing with people. It takes me an hour and a half to go through all this ridiculousness. It takes you a half hour to make dinner. Like, come on. Like, we need to balance this out. And I feel like justice coming in on their side saying, all right, depending how this comes through, I feel like if this comes through harshly, it could be a while before it could be a distance before it comes to like re-evaluating what needs to change. If it comes through well, like it comes through on a very even keel, like you're upset, but you're like, you know what, I'm going to open the window first, I'm going to look for the dog, make sure the dog isn't going to be near where I'm going to throw this ball. You're getting the ball outside, you're getting getting the ball outside is the analogy for getting your goal across, getting your message across, getting things changed. So like you're taking your time opening the window, making sure you know where the ball's going. It's going in a spot where you're happy where that's going. There's not going to be repercussions for that. Handling it that way, instead of taking this long to get things rectified and changed, it's kind of almost immediate is what I'm getting. If you handle this well, it's like things improve almost immediately depending on what you're dealing with. Because what I'm getting here is that something needs to change. And that's the whole point of this analogy. Something needs to change. You need to address something. You've got that Queen of Wands on your side. Don't get caught up in the gender, but that's emotionally motivated to like change things. Things need to change. Now, when you say your piece, you get that ball outside. That's your message. You get that out. Change will happen. I'm also getting your partner has the Magician on their side. And what they're doing is they're going to make changes, and it may take a while for the changes to take full effect. You may get immediate results, but it's, for example, immediate results, but it may take 3 or 4 months for it to be completely in balance where it needs to be. It may be a work in progress. You may get immediate results where they hear you, they agree, and they start taking those steps to do that. It just may take that long before it's actually in focus to where you need it to be. Just to be fair. Because your partner needs to look at this. What helps them is to look at this a little closer, think about what needs to change. How can you be as happy as they are? Like, they want you to be happy too. So they need you to find, they need to work with you to find like what would make this balanced. Should they take on half of what you're doing, like on the way home from work? Is there a way they can take on half of that, and maybe you just trade off and on who does the dinner for that night? Or is it like one day they do the errands or whatever that is, and you do the dinner, and then you switch back and forth? What would work? What works better? Are there things they can do on their lunch hour maybe to make this better, to also make this even out? What's a better way to make this work? And I feel like it's on their side to find better ways for things to work out and to work with you what works for you, what makes things easier for you. That just seems to be how this is working out here. What I get from that is when your partner moves forward and starts brainstorming ideas and you working with them, is to let go of like the animosity. I'm not saying, well, it feels like animosity because it feels like you're aggravated. Legitimately, I'm assuming it's legitimate. They're not giving me a left or right with that, just to be fair. It's just whatever's upsetting with you, they're saying let go of the unhappiness in the sense of like it's something that constantly happens, and realize that your partner's working to change it. Just stay in constant contact. Like, this works, that doesn't work, I'm still feeling this way. Just making sure the window's open when you throw that ball back outside. Like, just keep going at it. I'm getting the Six of Swords is like, once you said your piece, you made your impact. Stepping away from like constantly having to throw the ball outside and just reminding your partner, don't bring that ball back in here. Or like you see the ball on the counter, just like addressing like the ball's on the counter, but you're not throwing it out there. Like, or like letting them know you're like, are we changing this still? And they're like, well, yeah, it's raining outside now, so I brought the ball in. I'm going to put it back out there afterwards. I know it's weird. That's a weird analogy, but it's just basically just kind of like stepping away from physically changing the situation yourself and just reminding your partner, like, I still need this to change if they're not keeping up with it. Because change will happen. Karma is on their side, but the Wheel of Fortune is on your side. This is something where the two of you are going to work together with this. Changes are going to happen. It's all about how you deliver it, though. Because I feel like you're the one that has to address it. They don't seem to see it the way you see it. It's all about how you address it and how long it takes for it to rectify. That seems to be the kicker here. You need to say what you need to say. It's just about how you're saying it and, opening the window before you throw that ball out. That's the thing. All right, I think we're good. I'm going to let that be there. Let's go into Cancer singles. A lot of analogies with that, but, there you go. What do we have for single Cancers? Messages for single Cancers, empowering information, a card that's pushing out. The Six of Swords is pushing out, so we'll see if that plays into your reading there. Okay, the Tower card is also popping out. Cards popping out. My first thought, if something goes really bad, just to let it be and walk away, but we'll find out. You got the Fool card. The wheel popped out for you too. The fact that the Six of Swords and the Tower card, like, I feel like what that is saying is, like, if things start to look bad, do you want to wait around for the Tower card to show up, or should you just cut your losses and let it be what it is? You're choosing your path with this one. This reminds me of Pisces too a little bit. Interesting. You've got the Six of... Nope, that's not the Six. That's the Four of Cups. The Six of Nothing is out here, just to be fair. Nothing Six is out here. But the Four of Cups is out here in your environment. Somebody here, actually, with this one, I feel like they're holding something back. And it's almost like you address a situation and they don't respond. It's almost like you ask them about finances or something and they just kind of glaze over the situation. They don't really answer. Or, you're asking them about past relationships or something like that, and they're just glazing it over and they're not responding to it. There's something here with the lack of response. I'm getting the Four of Cups in the environment with like a lack of response. Like a bit of like something you need to know, something they're holding back, something they're knowing you're not going to really care for. And they're just holding something back. I almost feel like some of these people that you're connecting with, some of you are connecting to somebody who has children, but they're not letting you know that, which is kind of interesting in my opinion. But that's something like that, where they're hiding something away from you that you're going to think is undesirable. But there's like, when you bring up a subject, they just kind of glaze over or they just kind of wash through it and move the conversation in a different way. Now, when I'm seeing this, also like Pisces, ironically, this person seems to come in out of the blue. The Chariot is coming in, but what I'm also getting with yours, which is different than the Pisces read, they're coming through with strength. They want your attention. They want your attention. What else? How was I going to put that? And I'm seeing them push forward towards you, but they're very elusive. Even though they're very direct and like, let's do this, let's do that, and they like you and they want your attention. They also direct things the way they want it to go. If they don't want to talk about something, they're walking around it, or they're giving you good reason where like maybe it's too early to get into that deep of a conversation. That's something. Let's get to know each other first a little better. Like, family history and things like that. I don't like talking about that in the beginning, blah, 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 blah. They seem to have reasons for these things that seem to be acceptable. And I'm getting here the Ace of Pentacles at the top. Ironically, for a lot of you, I do feel like this is money-centered. Something about money seems to be an issue here. Left or right, it seems to be an issue. Now, as I keep going forward, I'm getting the Ace of Pentacles, and I do feel like you're comfortable with this person, and you're not feeling worried about money. It doesn't seem like money is an issue. It actually feels like, to you, like things are good in that respect. This may be a falsehood, just to be fair. It may be something they're presenting, but may not be the truth. I feel like for some of these people, they might have a nice car and maybe even a nice home, but they might be ridiculously in debt. Be aware of it. They may be like coming to the end of the rope where they might end up having problems with that. So be careful of that, especially if it seems like they have a lot of nice things. It seems like they're doing very well, but when you bring up the subject, they don't want to talk about it. There might be a catch-22 with that. Just be careful. As I keep going forward with this, I'm seeing you in the center with the Three of Pentacles and the Fool card. I feel like, again, they're not answering questions that they should be answering. And you seem to be like, well, I guess, that's their business. We don't know each other that well so far. Maybe that's a little too much. I'll let it go. I feel like you're just letting things slide by. Like, you're realizing they're not answering certain questions, but you're like, well, maybe that's just private for them right now. Maybe we don't know each other well enough just yet. Down the road, I'm sure they'll answer them. So, I'm seeing this go forward. You're working with them. You see that they're walking around things, but you're okay with it. I feel like you're making allowances for it, to be fair. That's how this energy is feeling. So if this is hitting with you, I'm feeling like that's one of the true identifiers if this reading is for you. If you're just, when this person comes in and they're talking to you, they avoid questions or they don't really give you answers and you're just making allowances for them, big red flag. Because you got the Fool card with the Three of Pentacles, like you seem to be working with them, going forward, best foot forward, things, possibilities are there. You're feeling very good with them. There's still the Hermit card here, a lot of questions unanswered. And you're wondering how far this can go. You're hopeful of it is what I'm getting. But I feel like that might be hopeful in a different way. The wheel is coming forward on your side. And when I'm saying on your side, I mean like as a favor to you. The wheel is going to come forward and you're going to start seeing this facade fall apart. This, again, the Six of Swords and the Tower card played out. It fell out of the deck. When the wheel turns and you're starting to see this facade fall away, it's almost like a chance of fate. It's like perceived chance of fate in the sense of like maybe you're realizing that they don't have a car, but they're hiding from you why. And you're like, where's your car? Like, oh, I just don't have it today. But, I didn't like that car anyway. I'm thinking I might get a different one. And it's kind of like you have to pick them up or they need a ride from you. And you're not really getting answers to, like, why they don't have a car. Like, this is your chance of fate. It may look like just, like, they're saying it just may look like a chance of fate. Like, but I'm getting, like, this is, like, they're not expecting, like, I almost feel like they're asking you for a favor or asking you for a ride somewhere. And it may be, like, they didn't plan that to happen. Like, that may be the chance of fate. Like, oh, I don't have my car right now. Whatever the reason they're coming up with. Like, this is saying this is not as much of a chance of fate as, like, a windfall in your direction. There's something wrong here is what they're saying. That's what's happening with the Wheel of the Year. If there's something like you need to give them a ride and they're not giving you a suitable answer, like why you need to give them a ride, like they're not telling you exactly why they don't have a car. For example, you're saying, "Oh, is it in the shop? Oh, I was going to trade it in. It just worked in a weird way or whatever." It's just kind of like they're being a little bit elusive, like why they don't have a car. This is your Wheel of Fortune going in your favor. It's the Wheel of the Year in this deck, but still. I'm getting like there's a weird mishap. Like you're helping this person out and you're not getting the correct answer about why, and you know it. This is your Six of Swords / Tower moment. It's saying this is your chance to walk away from this before you experience the Tower card with them. If you continue on with them, you will experience the Tower card, but you do have the Six of Swords also going to your favor. If you don't get a suitable answer, if you don't get a concrete answer of why this twist of fate is happening, they're saying this is your time to cut your losses and go. Because you're not going to get the correct answers is what I'm getting. You're going to have the Moon card, which is telling me you're not getting the correct answers, but you're going to know that something isn't right. You're going to feel like you're in this mystery, like that doesn't make sense, something doesn't add up here. By the time this comes forward, there's too many unanswered questions is what I'm getting, and there's too much of a mystery at this point. This is the time where the Six of Swords and the Tower popped out, in my opinion, to say, hey, you don't have to do this. You're not getting enough from this person. It's not on the level enough. Cut your losses and walk away. This is your moment. Like, you can even give them a chance to say, I need some definite answers, or I don't want to do this anymore. Then if they're like, and if they walk around you again, you don't have to repeat the question. Just realize that is your answer. This is your time to walk away. Because your end result is the King of Swords with the Path. The King of Swords is a decision maker. You're deciding your path at this point. If you stay involved with this person and they're being very elusive, the Tower card will come for you. It will. It's either Six of Swords or the Tower. I think that's a better way to say it. It's almost like alternate ending. But it fell out of the deck saying, what do you want? What do you want to happen? Do you want to walk away, cut your losses, or do you want to stick around and enjoy that Tower card? Not for nothing. Usually people don't enjoy the Tower card. I'm just saying. If this is all hitting and this person is very elusive and you're not getting the answers and you're still left in the lurch, like this is a mystery, I don't understand what's going on in their life and why it's happening, you're the King of Swords. Don't get caught up in the gender, but they're like, do choose your path. Choose your own adventure here. I'm going to cut my losses and go and find somebody else, or I'm going to stick around and I'm going to enjoy that Tower card. Again, usually people don't enjoy the Tower card, so it's up to you what you want to do. So if all this is hitting, keep that in mind. And that's where that's going. All right, we're going to shut that down there. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.